Hey YouTube, in this video I'm gonna go through how we can find the top investors on the eToro platform. I've just started and I want to become a popular investor on the eToro platform. So it's good for me to know what the competition is. Let's take a look at how the returns are calculated, and I'll also talk about how I calculate my returns for my project 1 million portfolio. So it's pretty simple to find the existing top traders and investors on the eToro platform. So you look for this tab called Copy People and you click on it. Then you have some parameters here that you can choose from in terms of finding the investors that you are looking for. So I want to look for investors that have performed well over a long period of time. So I'm going to select last 2 years. Over the last 2 years, I expect a return of at least 10%. The person can be from anywhere. My preference is the person invests in stocks. I've not seen many people who have consistently made money in currencies or commodities over the long term. Crypto, I think, is just gambling at the moment. Indices, stocks, and ETFs, these are my preferences. Warren Buffett and a lot of other long-term investors have made a lot of money by being buy and hold long-term investors in stocks. So I'm looking for someone who's up and coming and maybe can give me good ideas as well. So I'll go ahead and click on stocks. And then we press go. So this is what you get. So for me to know what is a good return, I got to look at what the market has done over the last 2 years. So let's take a look at the performance of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq over the last 2 years. So the performance of the S&P 500 has been about 20% over the last 2 years, and the performance of the Nasdaq has been about 23 or 0.97, or we could say about 24%. So I'm looking for someone who has done at least between 20 to 24% over the last 2 years. So let's go back to our search results. So we see quite a few high return candidates here. Let's click on this one first. So Japper Kirk Bonde. Let's take a look at his stats. Well, this year he's doing very well. He's done about 35.84%. Last year not so good. The year before seems quite amazing. This is probably a yellow flag for me because the average investor will not gain such high returns unless there's some very high leverage or risk involved. So let's take a look at his portfolio and let's see what kind of stocks he's interested in. So he has this company here that I've not heard of. He has Facebook, not heard of this company, not heard of this company, not heard of this either. I know of Micron. Well, this company, I know of Amazon, I know of Google, Nintendo, Apple, BlackRock, Tesla, Xiaomi. Oh, he has Bitcoin in it. That's probably a yellow flag for me as well. I know Bitcoin's only 2.24%, but my general feeling about cryptocurrencies is that they're very speculative and they're probably just gambling at this point of time because they don't really have a real life use case at the moment. So he has ST Lauder, he has JP Morgan, Nvidia, okay, Illumina, okay. So he has some good companies. He has a few companies I never heard of. He seems to be also interested in commodities and cryptos. So probably not my kind of guy in that case. So let's take a look at the next candidate. Let's take a look at this guy. Pretty decent returns. Mariano Pardo. Let's take a look at this guy. So he's done pretty well. It seems this year, 28%. Last year not too bad as well. Last year was a down market for the market in general. And the year before also not too bad. So no yellow flags here. This seem to be possible results for equities investor and a long-term investor. Let's take a look at his portfolio. Okay, he has some familiar names: Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Facebook. Not heard of this company, but I don't know all the companies. Facebook, Netflix, Salesforce, Electronic Arts, PayPal, Visa, Disney, MasterCard. MongoDB, I've heard of it as well. It seems a bit of a speculative play, maybe even overvalued, but it's I wouldn't say it's a bad company. So there's some other companies here as well: Activision, Apple, Oracle, Nike, Coca-Cola, Adobe, Tesla, Zendesk, IBM, Illumina, McDonald's, Boeing, Intel, Tencent, Yandex, JD, Booking. So it seems like his portfolio is pretty well diversified and a lot of familiar, and I see a lot of high quality companies. So this guy seems to be someone who is a long-term investor, someone who believes in buying high-quality companies. I really think that is the best strategy. I mean, Warren Buffett has proven that over 50 years. Investors like Terry Smith and Chuck Akre have also proven that. That is something I'm willing to put my weight and my support behind. So this is one investor I will keep an eye out for. I'm going to add him to my long-term list. So you can add people to your watch list just by clicking over here, and then you can add them into your watch list. I've created a separate watch list called long-term here, and so I've added him to that watch list. Let's also take a look and take a deeper dive into how these returns are calculated. So if you go back to the stats page and if you click on this, you get some explanation here. And then when you click on this, you get more information. So let's go ahead and click on that. Okay, so when you click on it, this is what comes up. So there's a bit more information here on how the stats are calculated. Let's focus on the formula that they use to calculate the monthly performance. So basically this is the formula that they use. So you have the explanation here, and they explain it as this. This formula simply represents the net change in equity during a given month. And they have an example here as well. So have a read of this example, and then you can see that they have calculated the return for January to be 40%. Now I find this a little inflated. I want to go through how I would calculate the returns for this particular example. And it turns out that the return is actually much lesser. So I actually calculate my returns on the net asset value method. Let's take a look at that method using this example given by etoro. So they say in January you had a starting equity of 1,200. So starting of January you have net asset value of 1,200. And I can assume there will be 10 shares, and so each share will be $120, right? That's just a hypothesis here. And so they say that you deposit an additional $800. Oh, sorry, you lost $300 through trading first, and then you deposited an additional $800. So $1,200 has gone down to $900. And then you have an injection of new capital. So you have $800 here. So the shares remain the same, right? So 900 divided by 10 would be $90 for each share. Now that you inject $800, $900 plus $800 would be $1,700. Since each share is worth $90, you take 800 divided by 90 and you get 8.8888. That's the new shares you will get for the new $800. So you take that plus the 10 shares and you get 18.88888, right? So let's see what happens then. Later that month you gain 1,100 through trading. So that on the last week of January you had 2,800 in your equity. You decided to withdraw 500 to buy something nice for yourself, and therefore your account equity is at the end of January is 2,300. So we had 1,700. We had a gain of 1,100, so it becomes 2,800. And then we decide to do this reduction. So we had 18.88 shares. Now the shares are valued at 148.2359. You take 2,800 divided by this and you get this because of the gain in value. So we decide to take away 500 shares. $500. So it becomes 2,300. $500 divided by the net asset value per share will give us 3.3730. So we are losing this many shares. So our new share count will be this. Basically this minus this. We'll get 15.5158. So basically that's what we have at the end of January. So our share net asset value per share is 148. That increased from $120. So basically you take 148 to 3.2359 minus $120 and you divide it by the original $120 to get the percentage gain, and you get about 23.5%. So you can see that my calculation would be a little different from theirs and will be much lesser than the 40% that they mentioned here. So this net asset value method is also the method I use, as mentioned, to calculate the returns for my project 1 million. So for example, at the start of the year, I started with about $114,000. So I made each share worth $1,000 just for the sake of easy calculation. Every time I make an injection of new capital, I do the same calculation of what are the new shares that I am getting. And so basically throughout the year, I've been doing those calculations. As of 5th of November, the last update, the account was about 159,000. Then I made a further injection, and so it hit 160,000. And each share was valued at about $1,283. And that's how I got the percentage return of 28.3% for project 1 million. So that's how I will calculate the return. So I'll be a little careful about the returns published in the stats page. Another interesting thing about the etoro platform is you can also invest in copy portfolios. So these are like a bunch of different stocks grouped together according to a certain theme. So you have a food tech team here, you have a 5G revolution team here. The other interesting thing I found was that you also have teams based on a group of traders. So you could also invest according to that. And then the other thing that I wanted to point out was that you could also invest in some famous investors and copy their portfolios. I recently did a video about copycat investing and why that's a very smart thing to do. What I found interesting was that you could even copycat Warren Buffett's portfolio. I guess this is only his public stocks portfolio. And so you see the the familiar stocks that he owns in his public stocks portfolio, like Apple, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Coca-Cola, and so on. So you could even add this to your long-term watch list, and that's what I've done as well. So that is basically how I find the top investors on the eToro platform. Let me know what you thought about my methodology, and about the stats and how you calculate the returns, and also what kind of investors you are looking for on this platform. Let me know your thoughts on this video. If there's a good response to this video, I might do a follow-up video on some other top investors on the eToro platform as well. So if you found this video useful, click that like button and drop a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share the video with someone else who might think who will find it useful. If you haven't started your eToro journey, click on that link in my description tab and sign up, and you can also get $50. And let me know your thoughts on the eToro platform. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next video.